Let's rock, baby.
Devil May Cry is a classic. It defined the action game genre. Before Devil May Cry, fast-paced, stylish action in 3D games wasn't a thing. The closest thing we have to elegant combat in 3D before it was the N64 Zelda games? And honestly, Devil May Cry has a lot in common with those. For being the game that defined combat in a 3D space, don't let its slow start fool you. You start off wandering an area, searching for orbs to open a door, and when it comes time for combat, it can seem a tad limited. While the use of lock-on is great and helps to better orient your character with the enemy you want to take down, you only have around 4 combos and your guns. But because of that, it's easier to get a feel for the purpose of each combo and easier to remember the inputs. Combat gets deeper by unlocking new abilities once you acquire new weapons. Each move has to be earned, and the currency for buying moves is the same as the currency for buying items, so each purchase has to be really considered. Do you want a new health item or a new move? It's a bit to think about. The combat really gets going when you unlock Devil Trigger. This game is built around the Devil Trigger system, and it's integral to use it. Devil Trigger makes you stronger, faster, and more resilient as you regain health while it's active. You also get access to extra unlockable moves during Devil Trigger, and these moves are essential. For your regular moveset, Air Raid is your best friend. Unleashing hell and just going to town every time you build up enough energy is so immensely satisfying. Devil May Cry started development as a new entry in the Resident Evil franchise after director Hideki Kamiya helmed the smash hit Resident Evil 2. However, producer Shinji Mikami saw the work done on the more action-oriented project and felt it had drifted too far from Resident Evil. The new game looked promising still, so it was retooled into an original franchise with an all-new story and world, and Devil May Cry was born. The remnants of Devil May Cry originally being developed as a Resident Evil title can still be felt. In its design, the game uses fixed camera angles, and items have to be collected, often from the other end of the map, to open the way forward. In its aesthetic, Devil May Cry has a noticeable gothic horror vibe going on. From the ominous music to the way every area is lit and constructed. Each room is packed with so much detail, it's quite incredible for a game from 2001. Everything is extremely well done, and helps build a foreboding atmosphere that gets completely smacked in its face by blaring rock music. And that brings us to the star of the show, Dante.
Time to go to work, guys.
Dante is a very playful protagonist for an action game. He's a bit kooky in his first outing, and quite a bit of his dialogue is awkward, but the entire game is like that, so yeah. Point is, he's got a lot of character in this early state. He's a cocksure wise-ass who loves rock music, and his banter brings a new meaning to laughing in the face of danger.
Are you the human, the son of Sparta who challenges the darkness for this?
Block off, Featherface, or you can stick around and find out the hard way.
And his cocky nature is elegantly incorporated into the gameplay with the taunt system. Taunting successfully in DMC rewards you with extra points for your Devil Trigger, and that Devil Trigger is super important, so you're going to want to be taunting all the time, bringing you closer to feeling like Dante. It's brilliant. It's a perfect match of gameplay and character. The game also gives you active feedback on if what you're doing is cool or not, with on-screen prompts grading you as you fight. From D to S, the ranking goes up the better you do, and goes away completely if you get hit. Do your best to keep it up, and make Dante proud. The exploration in DMC is very good too. Secrets are hidden off the beaten path, rewarding you with extra challenges and collectibles, with many items being straight up optional. If you miss the shotgun in Mission 2, you're going to be hurting because it's the best firearm in the game. The world is entirely interconnected, which is something you don't really see in action games these days, even in its own series. It helps add a sense of space, and you really get to know the lay of the land by the game's end. There are some sour spots, such as an underwater level complete with swimming and awkward aiming, but every bad or questionable part of the game is over so quick. The pacing of Devil May Cry in general is extremely brisk, with missions sometimes being over in minutes. The game's campaign itself is actually not very long, but it's packed to the brim with so much content, including higher difficulty modes with tougher enemies and retooled enemy locations. The bite-sized nature of the game makes it actually perfect for playing on the go. Which leads me to discussing this version of the game. This is Devil May Cry on the Nintendo Switch. It's $20, and for that price, you're getting a very solid version of a great game with the ability to play it anywhere. From what I can tell, there are no performance issues, and the presentation of this port is on par with that of other console versions. The UI in particular in this release is a lot cleaner than the other versions. I think this might actually be better than the previous releases of DMC1. Being able to play Devil May Cry anywhere is something I've never been able to experience, as the games have been locked to console and PC only, so finally having one of them on a handheld is incredible. Devil May Cry is a foundational title, and one that should not be overlooked, as it holds up as well as it did on release, as it does now. With slick presentation, smart design, and brilliant gameplay, Devil May Cry is a game you shouldn't sleep on, especially if you've never played it before. It's the first time it's on a Nintendo console, so any Nintendo fans who haven't played it out there, I'm looking at you. It's a must-buy for your Nintendo Switch. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, and share this video around. If you like what we do, please consider donating to us on Patreon. Bye-bye, and always remember, praise Sparta.